Good morning. This is day 4, and I'm taking off. I left Delna Shaw, a little cottage bed and breakfast I was staying at last night over on the Ballandock estate, and I'm back on the trail this morning, and we're heading to Grandtown-on-Spey. So let's get at it. So the trail is taking me by this old Church of Scotland, beautiful church, beautiful cemetery. So I think this is going to be a good place to take a little break before I continue on the route. As I'm sitting in this graveyard, nice and quiet and peaceful, I think I probably should share a few tips for you if you come to Scotland, kind of keep you on the right track. Since I'm a regular visitor to Scotland because my daughter lives here, I've watched a lot of U.S. citizens, a lot of Americans come over here and kind of step on it, if you know what I mean. So here's a couple things that you should avoid if you're going to visit here. The first thing is when you see the local folks in these little villages, you should not say, "I just love this part of England." Okay, that doesn't go over well. You see, there was a couple of battles up here that didn't turn out too well for the people of Scotland, and so saying "I just love this part of England" just doesn't bode well, if you know what I mean. So the next thing I wanted to share with you is in regards to the movies, okay? Do not ask someone in Scotland if Braveheart is their most favorite movie, okay? I'm going to tell you it's not. And the reason it's not is because the movie was filmed in Ireland. So evidently, after the movie Braveheart came out, tourism increased in Scotland by 39%. But they were all fooled. They should have been going to Ireland, not Scotland, because the movie was filmed up there. So here's another little thing for you. Let's say you see the neighborhood pub, the little local pub in the local village, and you want to visit the pub, so you go in there. And the first thing you do is you walk in there and you say, "Can I have a can of Silver Bullet?" Okay, don't do that, really. That is not going to go over well. What you want to do is go in there and order a pint of Ennisgun and call it a day. Act like you know what you're doing. Don't order a can of Silver Bullet. Bad news. So, the next thing I thought I would share with you is, do not ask people from Scotland if their ancestors were executed by the King of England. That's not a good thing to talk about up here. And think about it. If their ancestors had been executed, would you be talking to someone here? So kind of avoid these history questions if you don't have a real grasp on it, okay? So there's another thing I want to share with you, and it's about kilts. All right. Do not ask a man what he is wearing under his kilt. Okay? Don't do it. You're going to look like a fool. Do you ask other men what they're wearing under their pants? So you just need to be real careful with that, because you might end up with a boot up you know where if you pull a stunt like that. So don't ask anybody what they're wearing under their kilt. So here's another little tip. Let's say, for example, you're going to visit Edinburgh. Okay, there's a couple of apps you got to have on your phone. Well, the first one is you need to have the Trainline app in case you want to just run out of town real quickly to go somewhere. So the Trainline app is very helpful, very quick and easy to use. Then you want to have the Lothian bus app. And the Lothian bus app is also very easy to use, and it also connects to the trams in Edinburgh. And then if you're totally lost and can't get on a bus and can't get on a tram, then you need the app for the Black City cabs for Edinburgh. And those guys, if you call one of them, they'll be there very, very quickly. So those are the three major apps that you want to have if you're going to Edinburgh, for example. Now, if you're coming to the Highlands, you need to be able to access the Stagecoach bus lines, because the Stagecoach runs between all these little villages up here, and you can certainly do that. And so you could drop into one of these little places and you're set. Visit, and you can stay a day or stay a night, take off. Okay, so let's talk about if you visit Scotland and you need to know what to wear. Okay, first tip is don't wear white tennis shoes to Scotland. You're just going to shout tourists. You're going to stick out like a sore thumb. Plus they're going to be brown by the time you go home, because it rains almost every day here. So the key here is to get yourself a nice pair of hiking boots, conditioned, broke in, get some waterproofing on them, or get yourself a nice hiking shoe that you can get around the towns and the villages with if you're not going to go out on the trails. And then you dress in layers here, okay? Because right now the sun is coming out and it's going to be very pleasant. But I could walk 30 minutes and it'll be raining. So everything is about dressing layers. That's really important. So that is something to think about, is making sure that you've got the right clothing for when you visit. So I wear a lightweight raincoat like what I'm wearing right now. And the nice thing about this coat is that it also comes with a shell liner inside. So if it gets real cold, I can just zip the liner in, it turns into a regular jacket. So, and then I wear Loa boots. I've got them broken in, the Renegade, and it's just been the best boot to walk in. So, and then I have a pair of water resistant pants that I like to use that dry out really fast. So that's very helpful. And then being out here on the trails, I always try to wear a hat with a big brim, mainly because it helps keep the rain off my head for the most part. So those are little tips on clothing that I would suggest you think about before you come over here. Now this is a perfect time to visit Scotland because the exchange rate has gone in the tank for these people. It's the first time the American dollar might be the same as what the British pound is. It's not good for the people in the UK, but it is better for us if we want to come and visit here. Well, I'm sitting in this cemetery and it's very peaceful. It makes me want to just sit here for a while, not necessarily get up and going, because I've got several miles to finish up today. But the last tip I want to give you is about the TV series Outlander. So people in Scotland aren't necessarily attached to the TV series Outlander as much as we are in the US. So you just need to be aware of that. And you need to be aware of the fact that the directors of Outlander took a little extra liberties in the making of the TV series. And so when you come to Edinburgh, get yourself a one-day tour with Abby's Tours. You can book it when you get here. Run up there, go to Glencoe, go see the Three Sisters, go see the different places where they filmed Outlander. It's a lot of fun. I've done it. You'll enjoy it. But there's one thing I need to make sure you understand. Claire tends to be scantily dressed in a number of scenes in Outlander. And I will assure you, that does not really happen here. And the reason being, it is damn cold in a lot of these castles, in a lot of these stone houses. I'll see you a little bit on the trail. So that's the bridge I just came across, and the River Spey underneath it, obviously. But this is actually going to be the first time in 4 days that I'm up against the river. So it should be pretty cool, I think. Let's get moving. Well, I have a choice here. I can go along the River Spey, or I can take the shortcut up the hill. So I'm running a little early, so I think I'm going to walk along the river. Well, I've been kind of lucking out today. The weather has been fine, a little on the cool side, but the wind's not blowing. Certainly not like it was a couple days ago. And the trail's been good today. Like yesterday, the trail yesterday was really good. Easy 13 miles, really. And today, now I've made it over to the River Spey, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty nice walk right along the river here. So I think it's going to be a good day today. See you on the trail. So if I would have gone that way towards Grandtown, I'd be up in that tree line again. And I've had plenty of that for right now. So I think it's going to be a lot better to walk along the river. Well, this has certainly been one of the better parts of the trail. There's no doubt about that. No wind, beautiful scenery, forest, and the river right next to you. So, good choice on my part. See you back on the trail. So this area behind me, they're doing some selective removal of some of the old growth trees here, and then they're cleaning out a lot of the slash that's left behind. And what they've done is really opened up the vertical space between all these trees. And so these big trees probably have 10 to 15 feet around them now. And it really helps the forest when you do that. And so you have to wonder, many years ago, we used to do some of this kind of work in the fire service out in California. And who knows what happens now, other than just letting it burn, completely burn. So, but this selective forest management that they use in Scotland is really something to see. I saw it out there on the Great Glen Way, and now I'm seeing it here. It is amazing. Okay, back on the trail. So I've left the bank of the river and started to climb back up in the forest. And I think shortly I'll be tying back into the original trail. At least let's hope that. See you back on the trail. So I'm heading to Grandtown for the day. And I guess we're on the right track. Well, I've got 1 mile to go for today. Probably my best day. First of all, no rain at all. It's been beautiful. First came through some farmland, which was pretty cool. Then I was able to come up all the way along to River Spey. And then I hung a hard right and got into this forest and winded my way up to Grandtown. So back at it.